Hi guys, it's Mandy Lee, the RPG Queen, and I'm here to show you my favorite JRPGs and RPGs for the Switch, so let's get started. Now, admittedly, most of my favorite RPGs are on my PlayStation, and a lot of them are just PlayStation exclusives, but there are some hidden gems and great RPGs on the Switch as well. The genre of RPGs is massive. It has a massive umbrella, and there's a bunch of subgenres under it as well. You know, one YouTuber is not going to hinder it at all. It is a big juggernaut in the gaming community. So if you don't like RPGs, you're kind of in for a boring ride because there's a lot of games that fall under the RPG genre. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, and pardon if I sound weird, I'm still sick, so pardon that. Now these are gonna be the games that I've played and completed. I'm not gonna put games that I haven't played yet because I don't really have nothing to say about that yet. First one is Altair Ryza, Ever Darkness in the Secret Hideout. Now this game was my first entry into the Altair series from Koei Tecmo, and I just loved it. I fell in love with the alchemy and stuff. It was easy to get, easy to understand, and it made new players feel welcomed, and I really enjoyed what they did with this title. And it could have been so bad, especially with the alchemy and stuff, and could have been so confusing, but they explained it really good, and it's a good entry point if you want to try the Altair Ryza series anytime soon. Next is a Western, and that is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Now this is more akin to like Skyrim and all that stuff, but I mentioned it here because some people might like it more than I did. I still enjoyed it. I haven't finished it completely, but you know, it was Capcom's take on a Skyrim, and I think they did a good job. It's just, it didn't really vibe as well with me, but I know some people who will like it. Disclaimer, this game is really dark, and it's not theme-wise. You're just going to have to turn up the brightness because you literally can't see, and it's very annoying, so. Now the next one is a JRPG staple, Final Fantasy X and X-2. Now I beat 10, not 10-2, and I enjoyed it. I played it on the Switch because it came with the remaster. There also is a remaster for the PlayStation as well. I finished it like last year, so it was my first time finishing Final Fantasy X because I really didn't like it at first, so yeah, but I ended up finishing it and I really liked it. Any Final Fantasy game is a good RPG experience. I prefer Type 0, which is not everyone's favorite, so it's cool. Now here's another weird one, and that is Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore. Now this is a mashup of different games. From what I could tell, it's Fire Emblem mixed with Shin Megami Tensei, and a little bit of its own thing with the pop and idol scene. Yeah, that sounds weird, but trust me, it's a good game. It has good dungeons, good music, but by far the gameplay is very addictive. You just pretty much string up combos. It was wild, and I love the game, and it's very flashy, very in your face, but a lot of people love it, and I loved it, so it's worth a try. And if you haven't played it on the Wii U, you'll probably really enjoy this game. So the next game is Ys-8 Lacrimosa of Dana. At first I was like, what's this game with the freaking Roman numerals? I don't like Roman numerals and the weirdo name, but once I picked it up, I got instantly addicted. It is so fun, and it's the 8th entry in the series, I believe, since it has 8, but who knows. But other than that, it could be played as a standalone game because it does a really good job of telling you what you need to know without like giving you a history class on the Ys-8 kind of games or all that, because the Ys-8 games go back a long time. I think it was for the Super Nintendo or something. It's a really old franchise. So instead of doing that, they kind of made it into its own isolated game where you don't feel as overwhelmed and you could get into the series really quick. Now I hear most of the games are like that. They're probably like Final Fantasies where the story doesn't really click. Highly recommend this game. It is fun. The gameplay is fun. The characters are fun. And my next games are Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Both of these games are amazing. Now, if I could tell you which one's better, it would have to be a little bit of this one because of the gameplay, But story-wise, I like this one better. If you can, I highly recommend you pick any of these two up, especially 2 since we got Pyra and Mythra and Smash. This is where they came from. It's such an awesome game with a very unique battle style and world, and same goes for Xenoblade Chronicles. So I highly recommend both of these games. Now, you don't have to play them in order. You could play whichever one you want first, but if you want to, I would recommend starting with the Xenoblade, the first one, and then the second one. It's not your traditional JRPG turn-based feel. It's kind of weird. It took me a while to get into the combat as well, but once you get into it, it is a very, very amazing ride, and I can't recommend this enough. Now, the reason I put them together and not their own thing is because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. I guess because it's the box art might confuse people, but I put them together mostly because if you play one, you're gonna love the other. I guarantee that. Alright, and the next one is Dragon Quest Echoes of the Elusive Age, well, Dragon Quest 11. Now, I have this one for my PlayStation 4, and yes, this is the version where your ears bleed, because this is not the fully orchestrated version. This is the one with the awful soundtrack. So, yeah. But I did really enjoy it. It's a very solid RPG. It got me into Dragon Quest without, like, me feeling like I'm missing something. Like, there's a lot of references to the older games, but for newer people, it's still really good because it's not crucial to the point of Dragon Quest 11. It's good if you know, and it's a good startup for your Dragon Quest adventures, but as for a standalone game, it stands on its feet very well, and it doesn't leave you confused or whatever, and it does a good job introducing a lot of new people to the Dragon Quest series. This is an awesome RPG to get into. Now, there is a Switch version, and it actually has a few upgrades to help, like the music is fully orchestrated. Like, oh my god, I heard it and I was like, you know, the music's not that bad when it's not making my ears bleed. And there's also extra scenes and stuff. So the Switch version was the definitive edition. There's also a definitive edition on the PlayStation now, which I'm thinking of picking it up so I can replay it. Because, again, the music was so bad. So yeah, this one I highly, highly recommend. And lastly, we have Octopath Traveler. Now, I love Octopath Traveler. I think it's one of my favorite RPGs on the Switch. It's just so... It just ticks so many boxes for me. The art style is beautiful. I like the sprites and stuff. I normally do not like stuff like that because I get the old school retro vibe. But in this game, they made it work, and they made it work very, very beautiful. It's like this mix of art styles that really click, and then you have the characters. Some scenes are voice acted, and I just love it. And it's just a very, very good adventure. The story is beautiful, all 8 stories. The gameplay is very traditional, but it's still really fresh, so you're not really bored. And there's also the job system, which adds another layer of depth to this game that makes it so unique. And another thing is the music is just so damn beautiful. There's so many tracks, and I listen to it all the time when I'm doing stuff or on the computer. So highly, highly recommend. And I wish I got the collector's edition, but I didn't. But anyways, highly, highly recommend. I cannot recommend this more. So yeah. So those are my top JRPGs or RPGs for the Switch. So if you liked any of these games, tell me in the comments down below. Tell me what kind of RPGs or JRPGs you would recommend. If you liked the video, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And if you like my channel and would love to see more, please subscribe and ring-a-ding-ding that bell to get notified when I drop a video or a live stream. You can follow me on Twitter at MandyleePlays. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.